Welcome back to Just Code It. Today we're going to be looking at Crawl4AI content selection. Specifically, we're going to look into two different types of content selection, CSS selectors and target elements. We're going to look at both exclusion and inclusion, either select that CSS selector or exclude that selector. Let's just run the app and see what we're actually going to do. We're scraping this page right here. We have the inspector down here. We can see what we're selecting. We scrape this page with different selectors. This one, we're doing a content selector and we're selecting a specific selector. I believe we're just selecting this paragraph. Moving down a bit more, we do this target elements where we're targeting the nav bar. It's only selecting the nav bar. You could also target just the main section. A very common one for CSS selectors and target selectors is main. Moving down, we're going to exclude some tags. We're going to exclude navbar, footer, and aside, which gives us just the actual content. Moving down a bit more, we're going to do exclude the MD sidebar and MD footer, which gives us the navbar. We still have this navigation bar. Then if we went down more, it would start getting into this. Now that we've seen what the app looks like, let's clear this and start coding this app. To start out, we're going to import AsyncWebCrawler and crawl run config from Crawl4AI, import print from rich, and then import async.io. Then we're going to do an async main method, which just doesn't return anything. Within here, we're going to define all of our crawl run configs. The first one is the CSS selector, where we're going to pick a exact selector. Just to show you how this works, if you want to pick an exact selector within a web page, you can use this and just click copy selector, and that selector is this. You'll probably use a lot is this main selector, this one right here, which just selects the main section of the page. As you can see, the main removes the headers and everything that you don't really care about. By default, I normally just do main, and if I need to drill down further, I will do other selectors. Moving down to the next one, we have the focused config, another $run config where we're going to use target elements this time, and we're going to use the navigation like we said before. Let's actually run this again. It will only scrape the navigation bar. You'll just see a bunch of links probably. Give it a sec to run. Yep, all the links. But if we switch this to main, then we would get just the actual content. It would be a lot like these ones down here. Give it a second to run. And target elements, yep, we have just the main section. Moving down to the exclude tags config. Here we define exclude tags, and we're excluding nav, footer, and aside. Here you can see, let's actually zoom in on this a bit and probably need to run this again. Here we have the excluded tags, and you can see we get very similar to just having the main method, but it just has the actual website URL and then some other information above it. But for the most part, it's very similar. You can see it's just a bit more of a length. Now let's exclude some selectors. We're excluding the markdown sidebar and the markdown footer. Where's the exclude selector? Exclude selector, we're excluding these selectors. Now let's go in here and actually exclude another selector. Inspect this. Let's actually exclude main. Let's add in main. This is actually going to exclude essentially everything from this main page. Let's run this again. Give it a second to actually run. Here you can see the exclude selector. It doesn't automatically update. Imagine there's a main there, but you can see how it reduced the length of the markdown that it returned. I think it was like 24,000 before, but now it's only 7,000 because we're just getting the header and footer information. Not the footer, but the header information, but excluding the sidebar information, which makes sense because that is the header information. After creating all of those configs, we're going to do async with AsyncWebCrawler as crawler. Then we're going to do scoped await crawler a run and pass it the scoped config, and do this for each of the crawlers. We're doing this all within a single async with, so it runs faster. If you do it outside of this, it would be opening and closing essentially these crawlers. We're going to create a single crawler and then just run multiple runs on it. Again, crawler and pass it the focus config, and another crawler, pass it the exclude tags config, and the same crawler, exclude selector config. Then we're going to set that equal to a bunch of variables and come down here. We're going to check to see if the scoped is successful. If it's successful, we're going to calculate the length of the internal links. Then we're going to print a few things where we have a selector markdown, and then we're just going to get the length of the markdown, then the length of the internal links, and print the first 700 characters of the markdown. We're going to do the exact same for the focused results and for the exclusion results. We're going to do if success again, and we're going to print the markdown length and the first 700. And finally, for the exclude selector, we're going to do the length of the markdown and the first 700 of the markdown again. Finally, we're going to do if name equals main, async io run main, and pass it that function, which is our async function up here, to actually run it. That is it though for this quick tutorial video on Crawl4AI content selectors. The one I typically use is the CSS Selector because it's super easy to go to a browser, inspect, copy selector, and just paste it in there. But also a bit of a more dynamic one is the target elements. Target elements is good for if you want to just grab like the header or the nav bar and you want it to work across multiple different websites more consistently. I would use the target elements. If you're targeting specific elements on a page that are consistent, let's say like it's a product page and each product has a title, and you know that CSS selector for this website is going to remain the same, then the CSS selector is a bit more precise, and the target elements is a bit less precise, but a bit more dynamic across different websites. If you enjoyed today's video, please comment down below if you have any questions. Like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next time.